Peace, peace. Okay, folks, let's do another one. This one is dealing with the trust certificate. Just gonna go right into it. Bang. To create a trust certificate, you'll first need to establish a trust either through legal counsel or online estate planning services. We don't use legal counsel because they have a way of creating your trust and putting your trust within that commercial jurisdiction. Those who want to have a trust in the commercial jurisdiction, it's all your business. You can do what you like. However, for us who want to be in the private, live in the private, operate in the private, then we tend to create a private express trust. And for those who are looking for assistance, obviously you can contact me 631-520-4585 if you have any detailed questions or you need additional guidance to what we're providing in this video. Continuing. Then either your attorney or the service will draft a certificate based on your trust information. The certificate needs to be signed by the trust creator / grantor and the trustee in front of a notary. In this regard, you can either, if you want to put it on the public record, that's one. If you want to keep it private, then you would do now let me just clarify the two. You have a notary public, and then you have a notary republic. And yes, they intentionally did that because originally there was no notary public initially. It was always a notary republic. A notary public is a public notary, commercial jurisdiction, notary. Notary republic is a notary from the republic, which is 2 witnesses. That's what you need. 2 witnesses. All right. The law requires 2 witnesses for a document to be considered witnessed and essentially notarized. So, again, commercial jurisdiction, notary, public, private, notary, republic. Okay, let us proceed. Finally, the certificate might need to be recorded with your local county office, especially if the trust owns real estate. Here's a more detailed breakdown. Number 1, establish the trust with an attorney. Not necessary. We're not dealing with that at this point, so not necessary. Online services, utilize online estate planning services or software to create your trust. These can be a cost-effective option for simpler trusts. Okay. Number 2, obtain the certificate, attorney or service. If you're using an attorney, if you're using an attorney or online service, they will typically draft the trust certificate for you as part of their service. Existing trust. If you already have an existing trust, you can provide the trust document to an attorney or service to have them draft the certificate. We're going to be having a example of a trust certificate at the end of this video, so stay tuned if you just need an example of what it looks like, or a foundational or fundamental understanding of what needs to be in it or on it, what it should look like. Okay, financial institutions. Some financial institutions may also provide a trust certificate form that you can fill out. So for an example, if you go to a bank or something like that, they may already have one there. All right, for their institution, and you just simply fill out the necessary information, and there you go. All institutions don't have it. So is it good to have your own? Absolutely. Why? Because you can dictate what it is, that's going to be how your trust is going to be looked at, handled, or what have you, operate, in addition to your trust indenture. Okay. So, yes, definitely. What I would suggest is what we do is we create our own certificate, and then we go to the institution. If they have their own, then, if they want us to, fill out theirs in addition to ours, then that's cool too. It's not a problem. But we're going to definitely have our own, and we're going to bring that with us because it's going to stipulate what it is that we want. All right. Okay. Existing trust. If you're using an attorney or online services, they will typically draft the trust certificate for you as part of their service. Existing trust. If you already have an existing trust, you can provide the trust document to an attorney or service to have them draft a certificate. Some financial institutions may also provide a trust certificate form that you can fill out. Let us move on. Number 3, complete the certificate. Fill out the form. Carefully fill out the certificate with accurate information about the trust, including the trust name, date of establishment, settlers, trustees, and their powers. All right, and this is very important, especially regarding the trustees, because the way in which you write out your trust indenture, your hold harmless agreement, and things of that nature connected to your trust. For an example, a non-disclosure agreement. So that way your trustee is protected and guarded to when they find themselves in a situation operating on behalf of the trust, they can't be forced to disclose the details of your trust indenture, because there's absolutely a need for you to protect your assets through that trust, and that trust indenture is one of the means by which to do it. And by way of doing that is, or rather a way of doing that is through the non-disclosure agreement. All right, it's a type of gag order, if you will. The non-disclosure agreement, where the trustee does not have to divulge any information in addition to what is absolutely pertinent at that particular moment in order to satisfy whatever situation they're in. Okay, some cases just may be that the trustee needs to let it be known, hey, I'm a trustee of this trust, and my obligations are to this trust. Now, sidebar real quick. Every police station, in case you didn't know, every police station is a trust. Every courthouse is a trust. Every hospital is a trust. The Constitution is a trust. These are all trusts. Everything that's going on right now is a trust. Going into a store, you pick up items, you walk out that store, you're getting arrested. Why? Because you entered into a trust. The trust says, hey, we're going to provide foods and things of that nature, and anybody that comes into our establishment, they can take whatever they want, but they got to pay for it. So it's a trust that is it operates as a non-verbal contract. All right, an implied contract. So it's already understood that this is the way things are to be ran when you're in this location in the store. Now here's the thing. You step outside of that store, you literally just step outside of the doors of the store, you go on the corner, and there's food items out there on the table, whatever. It doesn't belong to the store. And you just pick up those items and just walk off. Let's just say it says free food. Or it doesn't say free food, but you know that it is free food. You can go over there and take the food. Okay, so once you step out of the doors of that trust, the store, right, the establishment, once you step out of the doors of it, you are no longer held by the rules, the stipulated conditions of that trust. And now, if you do see food items outside of that establishment, you can pick it up and walk away with it and not be arrested. Well, everything is a trust, people. Everything is a trust. The Bible is a trust. The Quran is a trust. The Torah is a trust. All right? Everything is a trust. You do good, God rewards you. You do bad, He punishes you. Okay? That's a trust. You're a vicegerent on the earth. That's a trust. Take care of my earth in my absence. That's a trust, people. Okay? So everything is a trust. Police stations, hospitals, courthouses, you name it. Stores, everything. Everything is a trust. You have to know where you're at. And this is where you hear people talking about, I'm in the private. And then they're doing stuff. They're operating in the public, talking about, no, I'm private. No, you're in the public. And you're acting like you're still in the private. Okay? If you don't know how to move in the private, then you will very easily go into somebody else's trust. And you'll be you'll be falling under the stipulated rules of that trust. And you're thinking you're private, but you're not. So you have to understand the difference between public and private and operate within those different jurisdictions, accordingly. Okay, continuing. Fill out the form. We covered that already. We already covered that. Notarization. Have the certificate notarized by a notary public. Remember we talked about notary public? Nope. If it's a private express trust, then you would not use a notary. or if you did use a notary public, you can stipulate within the trust inside of the notary block that the notary block does not afford this notary any jurisdiction, nor is it affording anyone any jurisdiction into any commercial jurisdiction by utilizing a notary in this regard. You can also do that. Okay, you can stipulate that. But what we do is if you're doing a private express trust, you just need 2 witnesses. Okay, you just need 2 witnesses. Now, if you want to take that trust and redact certain information on your trust indenture, you can redact that and then record it on the county record. Okay, the county registrar, county clerk, all the same building. Okay, county clerk, the registrar, that is the same person. Okay, that is the place where the records are kept. You file it into their records, and they may say, well, we don't have, they play games sometimes. They may say we don't know or where to file this. You tell them, listen, I want you to file it on demand, which means that you're taking full liability for them filing it. You're removing all obligations and liabilities from them for filing it, and you tell them to file it into the miscellaneous record or miscellaneous file. And that should resolve that matter. Okay. Sign the certificate in front of a notary. Okay. Wait, this is a common requirement and ensures the document's authenticity. Okay. So again, notary public. Signatures. The trust creator, grantor, and trustee need to sign the certificate in front of the notary. Recording, if applicable. If the trust holds title to real property, you may need to record the certificate with your local county office. If you own land or you're putting vehicles and stuff like that into your trust, you're going to, or if you're taking a claim of a court case, you take that and you need to record that into the public record, which would be the county clerk's office or the county registrar's office, which is the same office and it's the same person. Okay. Number 4, update and maintain. Changes to trust. If you make any changes to your trust, you'll need to create a new certificate to reflect those changes. Okay? So if there's any changes, anything that's not the same as when you created it, then you need to go ahead and make the necessary modifications and record and re-record it. Okay? You have to keep these people on notice, okay? An honorable man, an honorable woman will always give notice, okay? They will always give notice. Dishonorable men, dishonorable women, they don't give notice because 9 times out of 10, most of the time, they're not operating in a manner where they're being just and fair. If you're not being just and fair, then naturally you are not being honorable. You're being very, very dishonorable, and no one wants to deal with a dishonorable person, even dishonorable people. Okay, let us proceed. Renewals. Some financial institutions may require certificates to be renewed annually or every few years. Okay, all right, now we're about to go into a little bit more detail of the same topic. Stay on the bus. A certificate of trust is a document that provides a concise summary of a trust's key details. Summary. It summarizes the key details of your trust indenture, including its existence, the names of the trustees, and the authority they possess. Now, I want you people to share. I want you people to pay attention to something. Okay? Okay. You have your trust indenture, right? You have your trust indenture, and in your trust indenture, it's going to articulate the authority they possess, or rather it gives the list of, including, proves the trust indenture discusses the key details of the trust, how it's going to be operating, right? That would be your policies and procedures of your government. That would be the policies and procedures of your hospital. That would be the policy and procedures of your police stations. All right? Key details. Okay? And then including its existence. So obviously they have to have, items that are used in order to establish their existence, which would be obviously the trust indenture, but also badges, right? Logos, emblems, crests, these different things. All right. So, and then of course, like with the sergeants, they get that little three upside down V's. That's your sergeant. So you got your captain, your lieutenants with the 1 bars, 2 bars, and like that. Okay, all of these different details of how the trust is supposed to be operating. Okay, and then of course including its existence. Okay, so these things will be indicators of its existence. Through these sign symbols, and of course the policies and procedures and the trust indenture of that trust. Again, police stations, hospitals, courthouses, black robes, and all this other bull crap. Okay, the dress code. Courthouses have dress codes, right? Okay. Anyway, the name of the trustees, that would be the police officers, if this is a police station, the judges, the prosecutors. Everybody has their roles. That's the name of the trustees. Okay. The name of the trustees and their titles, of course. And the authority. You hear this in a lot of videos. Delegation of authority. Delegation of authority. Officer, what's your delegation of authority? Or judge, give me your delegation of authority. What's your delegation of authority? There you go. It's inside the trust indenture. All right. And the authority they possess without revealing the full detailed trust document. Okay. And you go to the court. Did you guys operate under the trust? And they'll never tell you. They don't have to tell you. Because they have what we spoke about earlier, which is a non-disclosure agreement. They don't have to tell you everything that's going on. They don't have to tell you that it's a trust. They don't have to. In fact, if they were to divulge it, they will be violating their contract as a trustee with that trust and obviously be removed. Okay? Hope this thing is becoming clearer to you now. It's a trust. You go in there, judge, you're not practicing it. He's following what he's supposed to follow according to the rules, the policy procedures, the rules of the trust. The rules that the authorities that the trustee has been provided with. Same thing with the police officers, same thing with the doctors and the nurses. Same thing. When they're giving the rules of the job, that is the trust indenture. That is the rules of the trust and how the trust is supposed to be operating. All right, enough of that. Let us proceed. It's often required by financial institutions or third parties to verify a trust's legitimacy and the trustee's authority to act on its behavior. To act on its behalf. Here's a more detailed breakdown. Purpose: verification. It confirms the existence of the trust and provides a brief overview of its essential elements. Authority: it demonstrates the trustee's power to manage the trust's assets. Okay. Convenience: it avoids the need to share the entire trust document with parties who only need specific information, says a legal site. They're referencing a legal site that they went on. All right, but yes, that's accurate. Contents: trust name and date, the official name of the trust and the date it was established. Bam. You ever go to a court building, you see outside, it's got a name and it's got a date when they built it? There you go. Police stations, same thing. Hospitals, same thing. Those are all trust, people. They're all trust. The official name of the trust and the date it was established. Settlor, trustee, and successor trustee information. The name and addresses of the individuals involved. Trustee authority, whether the trustee has full or limited powers. All right? And we can go into a long class on that alone, but we're going to try to keep this short. It's going to be a bit lengthy, but still we're going to try to keep it short. Real estate details. If the trust holds real property, its legal description. All right? You have to describe the legal description of the property the trust holds. Trustee signatures and notarization, ensuring authenticity and legal validity according to a law firm. This is according to a law firm that they are referencing, but they're not naming the law firm. Still on point. How to obtain. Estate planning attorney. They can draft a certificate of trust for you. We're not dealing with that. Online software, some software packages can assist in creating the document. Trust name and date. The official name and... Wait, I think that's twice. I'm sorry. Okay, here we go. Estate planning attorney. They can draft a certificate of trust for you. Okay, we already dealt with that. Software packages can assist in creating the document. Okay, financial institutions or notary public. Financial institutions or notary public. They may offer pre-printed forms or help you create one. Okay, and these are, it says where to find forms. These are forms you can find online. Obviously, you can't tap on it on the screen because this is a video, but you can punch it, screenshot this, type it into your Google bar, and bam, there you go. You can go to them spots and go ahead and make that happen and get yourself a certificate. Okay, let us move on. Here is a sample of a certificate of trust. Okay, you want to screenshot it, you can screenshot it. This is page 1. I believe there's 3 parts to this. There you go. Tax ID number. And again, anybody who needs services, assistance with getting your tax identification number for your trust. Also your vendor ID number, which a lot of these gurus are not even talking about. You never hear these gurus talking about the vendor ID number that goes along with your EIN. You don't hear them talking about it. Why? Because they get to that EIN and they think that they got something. There's a vendor ID number that goes with those numbers, okay? There's further steps that need to be taken. Those of you who have an EIN and you want to get your vendor ID number, just contact me. You know the number. You should know the number, 631-520-4585. And, we can book a consultation and or we can, start helping you with your services, getting you some of these things. Also, after you get your vendor ID number, you can also go get a certificate of designation. Certificate of designation is when you're appointing the Secretary of the State as your agent. So whenever there's any issue regarding that name, somebody wants to file a lawsuit or bring charges against that name, they have to go through the Secretary of State first because that name will be recorded officially as a corporation. The certificate of designation is establishing that the name is in fact a registered corporation with the state, and the Secretary of the Treasury is now the agent on behalf of that corporation, that named corporation. All right, it becomes very, very problematic for them to drag you into a court like that, because they got to go through the Secretary of the State first. They're going to make sure all the T's are crossed and all the I's are dotted, and guess what? 99.999% of the time, they have not crossed all the T's and dotted all the I's, and it's very difficult to drag a corporation into a courtroom for a criminal charge when it's a corporation. Okay, next point. And this is your last point here, and this is where you do your Affiant signature, your dates and all that, sign all that stuff off and all that. So once again, people, I thank you for tuning in, benefiting from this information, spending some time with us. So with that, Assalamu alaikum to the Muslims, Islam to the Moors, Shalom to the Hebrews, Hotep to the Egyptologists, Namaste to the Hindus, peace be upon you to the Christians. That is originally from your text, in case you didn't know that. When in the book of Gideon's, when the people came in to greet Jesus, or greet each other, they would begin with peace be upon you. Okay, so if you're a Christian, that should be your term. Okay, peace be upon you. And good morning to those who are just waking up to this knowledge. Good morning. Peace.